My soldiers are still training, but I know your losses have been severe. So, there are no other questions but of fighting. I'll send you both several divisions as soon as possible.
Pershing and the Allies, they decide that the first major battle, and it's with the 1st Division, would be at a place called Cantigny.
Cantigny is a dangerous spot because it's a bulge created by the Germans where they can surround the Allied troops inside with crossfire. So you want to try to flatten that salient.
Now, this is going to demonstrate to the Germans that the Americans are in the war. And most importantly for Pershing, is it going to prove to the Allies that the Americans have the capability of launching and holding an attack. So everybody wants to make sure it's a success. The French are going to back it up with tank support, with flamethrowers, and also with a lot of artillery.
Artillery was extremely important in World War I. You have these massive guns that weighed many, many, many tons. They would fire gigantic shells that would weigh up to 2,000 pounds and could go 20 or 30 miles.
If you think about it, during the American Civil War, small arms, rifle fire, will account for anywhere between 75 and 91% of all casualties. In World War I, artillery will account for 60% of casualties. We flipped that paradigm on its head.
And so artillery was going to play a major role at the Battle of Cantigny.
Unfortunately, the day before the battle, the Germans launched another offensive, Operation Blücher, that punched a huge hole in the Allied lines and actually had the largest one-day advance in the entirety of the Western Front, over 22 kilometers.
And Operation Blücher is so threatening because it looks like Ludendorff is going to take Paris. He's going to strike over the Aisne River, over the Marne River, and he's going to hit Paris. The shock effect of taking Paris will be so great, it will demoralize the French and knock them out of the war.
Faced with this crisis, the French have to pull a number of these heavy guns away from the American assault at Cantigny, which is going to leave the Americans vulnerable to the German artillery. So on the 28th of May, all the doughboys in the 1st Division recognized the weight that is on their shoulder.
How many think are out there?
Can't see nothing but fireworks. They're out there. You can bet on that.
Shh. All right. There are the tanks. This is it, boys. Yes, sir! Sir! We're going in. Boots in the hold. Ready? Charge!
On the 28th of May, 1918, when the Americans launched this first attack at Cantigny, they know this attack has to go well. This attack has to prove to the Germans that the Americans can fight, and also prove that to the British and the French.
We're too exposed here! Move! You okay? Yeah! Alice! The gunner! In the silo! You see him? I'm jammed! Ah! You take the shot! You're a better shot! Take it! Did you get it? God damn, Alice. You okay? All right. Let's go. Yes, sir. Move!
So by the opening hour of the battle, it has gone quite well. The Americans have already achieved the objectives set out for the attack. They've not only taken Cantigny, but have also pushed in deeper to create a little bit more buffer in the German lines.
What's really interesting is when the Americans take Cantigny, they've had no experience of indirect fire. The fact that on the Western Front, most of the fire isn't direct fire from cannon you can see. It's indirect fire from heavy artillery behind a ridge and out of sight. And so the Americans, they all just kind of like scatter and lie around and go, that was easy.
You all right, sir?
Yeah. I'll get it looked at when we get back. Take cover! Get it! Lions! Alice! You all right? Yeah! Reardon! I'm here! Pepperell! Pepperell, let me hear you! I'm fine!
After Americans take the town of Cantigny, the Germans launch 7 counterattacks, which rage on for 3 days.
There's almost 1,600 casualties after that 3 days of fighting. And to put that in perspective, that's 1 casualty every 3 minutes for 3 days. And so the United States Army will hold, but not without great cost.
For Pershing, it's important because this is the first time an American unit has undertaken an operation with its own infantry, and it's successful.
But Cantigny is also a wake-up call for the Americans. That there's no escaping the ugly reality of this war. It's a long, wearing, attritional struggle where a lot more people are going to be dead or injured before it's over.